soul, rock and roll. Can't put my finger on exactly what it is that you stole. You brought me low, lower than I thought that I could ever go. You threw my beat-red heart to a deep, dark hole, rock and roll. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Oh. Hail, hail, 33. Well, hail, hail, 33. Well, hail, hail, 33. Your violin hiss sounds so sweet to me. You got a copperhead kiss hidden up your sleeve, 33. You wanna burn me down like that old oak tree. You wanna turn my love into an enemy. You might fool everybody, but you won't fool me, 33. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Oh. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, Hail, hail, wrecking ball. Well, hail, hail, wrecking ball. Well, hail, hail, wrecking ball. When it gets out of control, I'm gonna give you a call. Hey, come down here and make some sense of it all, wrecking ball. If you got filled up, if you got too tall, it's breathing up your neck and burning down your heart. What took years in the making took a second to fall, wrecking ball. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye,
Well, I was born into the world of pick and grin. I married a woman that's born to shop and spend. Lord help, that woman loves to shop. She's a bargain hunter through and through. I've seen her spend $50 of trying to save $2. Lord have mercy, my woman was born to shop. Born to shop, born to shop. When it comes to spending money, she can't stop. If you'd like to know what I'm talking about, just drive her to the mall and turn her out. Boys, there ain't no doubt, Sweetie was born to shop. Choosing her favorite seems to be hard between Visa Discover and MasterCard. She got a handful of plastic she gets out of the truck. I know she don't mean no harm. She don't quit shopping, we're gonna lose the farm. It beats all I've ever seen. Sweetie was born to shop. Born to shop, born to shop. When it comes to spending money, she can't stop. She got 3 closets full of nothing to wear and can't do a thing with her old hair. I'll declare, Sweetie was born to shop. Then one day things took a turn for the worse. A thief stole her purse, took her credit cards and headed for Timbuktu. She said, "My call the law." I said, "No, ain't no way he'll ever spend as much as you." Born to shop, born to shop. When it comes to spending money, she can't stop. They say old shoppers never die. They have that Walmart up in the sky. They ain't no stopping her. Sweetie was born to shop. Heaven knows Sweetie's born to shop.
That's Mr. John Cook and his version of Old Town Cleveland. Great song, I think. And that's local talent doing that, Johnny. That's amazing. We have a special person in studio this morning. If you're not, if you are kind of surprised at the voice that's on the radio right now, I'm subbing for Ron and Debbie Moore on Old Town Cleveland this morning. They're out of town, and I've got a special co-host in the studio with me, Mr. John England. I'm going to describe John as a conversationalist. There's virtually no topic that I can't breach today that John can elaborate on. How you doing this morning, John?
Good. Well, we need to get a few more down here, like Larry Ledford. I know he's listening this morning. And Doug Guerin, get your butt down here.
Yeah, now there's a conversationalist.
Yeah, there you go, Doug Guerin.
Doug Guerin is certainly that.
Doug, get in your car. Come on down here. We got a place right here.
We've got a caller already, John. Let's see who's calling in. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. This is Doug. Who's calling?
You know who's calling, Doug.
Oh, I always know who's calling. First caller in every Saturday morning. That is Miss Ella. How you doing, Ella?
Hey, I'm feeling great today, but yesterday I got caught in the rain, and my feet got soaked. It was just pouring down, and my feet hurt.
You got caught in the rain. It's a wonder you didn't melt. You so sweet. You know what? You know that.
Oh.
What's on your mind this morning, Ella?
Well, I got a poinsettia, and I was wondering if I could have it planted. I've had it since December, but it's still growing good.
Okay. All right. And it's potted. Do you want to plant it like in the garden, or do you want to repot it and keep it in the house?
No, I want somebody to plant it downstairs for my friends to enjoy, because I'm going on vacation, Tuesday.
Going on vacation. Where are you headed, girl?
California.
California? You got relatives out there, don't you? You got a sister or something like that, isn't it?
Oh, now you know who I got out there.
Who's that?
I got 2 daughters.
That's right.
5 grandkids and a great-granddaughter I ain't saw yet.
Oh, man, an extended family out in California. That should be a lot of fun. You going to take the bus like you used to, or how you going to get out there?
Well, I'm leaving Tuesday, and I'll get there the 6th.
Oh my goodness! So it is going to be kind of an extended drive out that way, isn't it?
Well, they're going through down Georgia and Alabama, and they ain't never went that way.
When you ride the bus, you have to go where they go, isn't that right?
I know, but they haven't went that way since I've been riding them since '98.
She sort of reminds me of Donna Stoneman. Remember Donna Stoneman was on she was the girl that played the banjo on Hee Haw.
I do remember that. Do you remember that, Ella?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And the Stoneman family, they were like rock stars in the 1920s. They were part of that Bristol.
Oh, you bet.
Bristol session, the Stonemans and the Carters, and Donna Stoneman is still in Nashville, and over there she lives in public housing, and but she's still around. But this lady, Luella, is that your name?
No, Ella.
Ella.
Miss Ella. Yeah.
Miss Ella. She sounds a little bit like Donna Stoneman.
Miss Ella is my radio girlfriend.
From Hee-Haw.
Well, Ella, I wish you all the best on your trip, hon. And we've got that.
I want to say something else, Doug.
Go right ahead, hon.
I want to tell Mark I am sorry for saying what I did over the radio.
Ruh-roh, what did you do to Mark?
I cussed him out, and I'm sorry about that radio.
You cussed Mark Grissom out. I bet that's not the first time that's happened.
He's from the south side of Chicago.
I've been on the radio since 2009, and he always hung up on me, and it made me so mad when somebody hangs up on me.
He's a tough guy. He's from the south side of Chicago. I think he used to sell hot dogs there at, what's that famous baseball stadium?
Wrigley.
Yeah, I think he sold hot dogs at Wrigley Field. So he and Scott Canales, they're tough enough that they can.
He's a Cubs fan. What can I say, Ella?
He's been his badge when he met me.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, Ella, appreciate you calling in, sweetheart. And we've got that question out there on.
I'm going to Pokies if anybody wants to tell me bye.
Well, we're gonna be announcing that, of course, Convertible will be playing tonight at Pokies. And so everybody get out there and enjoy that entertainment. That's always a great show.
They could come by and tell me bye.
And dance with Miss Ella. All right, girl. Appreciate you calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Miss Ella calling in. She's made her phone call in now, and so we can get on with the rest of the show.
I'll tell you, for a long time, I thought she was like a character, like a Minnie Pearl.
Many people do,
Yeah.
but Miss Ella is for real. Let me assure you, John.
I got you.
We got another phone call. Let's see who this might be. We're busy already this morning. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland this morning. It's Doug and John on air. Who's calling? What you want to talk about?
Hey, Doug. How you doing? This is Bullet.
Bullet, how are you, buddy?
I just wanted to say I run into an old friend of yours the other day. I had along with Bobby Scott.
Oh, man, there's a name from my past.
Yeah, we actually sat down and talked and reminisced a little bit, and he said two of his football players took him out to eat for his birthday, Ronnie Wire and Bill Emmendorfer.
Oh, that's wonderful, man.
And just talking about you, too.
Uh-oh. Well, I hope we can still be friends.
Doug, there's a place that we can go metal detecting down on Bobby Scott's farm on Blue Springs Road. That was his farm on Blue Springs Road. That was a huge federal military camp.
I bet the coach might give us permission, don't you think,
Yeah.
Bob? Bully, what's on your mind today, buddy?
My uncle used to work for Bobby, and my dad and him used to have that big house. Bobby said he can look out his window and see that big house my dad was born in on Blue Springs Road.
Is that right?
Yeah, we was reminiscing a little bit there, Doug, and I want to be the first one to tell Ella bye.
All right, very good. That'll tickle her to death, Bully.
What's your show going to be about today?
This show is wide open. Like I announced at the front of the show here, I've got the consummate conversationalist in studio today, my co-host, John England, and virtually anything that can be talked about will be talked about.
Bullet, why don't you tell us a story? Tell us a good history story about the neighborhood you grew up in. Any hotels or
I actually grew up in Bucks Pocket.
Okay.
Bucks Pocket, the old field over here around Blythe Avenue.
Old field, I guess. Right.
And that's just where I grew up at. And best thing I can remember, there used to be a guy going around with these ponies, and he'd let you take your picture up on a pony.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I actually gave them to Ron and Deb to put on their website. And then, but I was about 3 years old, and I had my picture tucked on a pony. And I've still got that picture. And Ron said, why don't you still look like that now? And I said, well, I'm just old now. I'm 65.
Bullet, why do they call that the old fields? Was that something that maybe that the Indians had worked, the Cherokees had worked before white settlement into the area?
Deb had told me the reason they called it that, and I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
You wasn't listening.
Anyway, guys, I just want to call in and tell.
Well, we're not going to let you go. We're going to keep you going here.
What did you and Bobby Scott discuss when you had that little meeting with him this week?
Well, I just wanted to bring. He wanted to see pictures of my uncle and my dad back in the day, and he's real close friends to my father and my uncle, and I just sat down there with him and talked about I guess, and. And I told him I used to watch his football games, and when he was a coach and you and all them players, and we just talked about football. And he had a birthday, and I think I hope he don't get mad at me. I think he's either 80 or 81 years old now. And anyway, we just reminisced a little bit there, and old Bobby, he seemed like he's still doing pretty good there.
Does he live on Blue Springs?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob is one of my those folks that kind of formed my character and formed the man that I am now. I owe a lot to those athletic coaches that coached me as I came up, and Bob is one of those that he's to blame for how I turned out.
Well, I think he said you turned out all right.
Well, I appreciate his faulty memory.
Yeah, Anyway, guys, I'm going to enjoy the show, and I'm going to go down and see Pro Day here in a minute. He's down here, right down below me here at this flea market across from the racetrack.
Yeah, we're gonna get a couple of call-ins in the next 2 hours from Fro Daddy. He's going to be doing a remote down there for Whoop Radio, and so Fro's going to call in and tell us what's going on down there. I'm looking forward to that call.
Well, you have got a fine man at your co-host, Doug, and I'm going to enjoy both of you today, and so I'm going to listen to you.
Thank you, Bullet. Appreciate you calling.
All right, we'll see.
Always good to talk to Bullet. And he's, he never calls in that I don't learn something, and that's what talk radio is all about. If you're doing it right, you're learning something every day. Isn't that right, John?
That's right, Doug. We sure got him to tell us a story or two about Buck's Pocket.
Oh, and I'm sure he's got one. Bullet's one of those conversationalists too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when they had that bridge construction, is it still going on, or is the bridge on the Spring Place, is it open now?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been that far down Spring Place to know that, John.
Yeah.
So, but I bet somebody out there does know. Hey, this is Memorial Day week, and a lot of folks have been on vacation this week. A lot of folks, of course, Monday had the outing and their barbecues and all that. What'd you do, John, on Memorial Day?
The memorial ceremony at the courthouse, and I always try to go.
Outstanding. And that's what Memorial Day is all about.
That's what it's all about.
You're right.
To remember those that, they were just young kids, 17,
you bet,
18 years old. They put their hand up and swore that oath. And, some of them got stationed in Florida, but a lot of them ended up in Vietnam in a rice paddy, just, begging every day to I hope I can get home alive and see my people again.
Exactly.
And some didn't make it.
You're
some
right.
didn't come home. And you listen to all the names that they read off from World War II.
Yeah.
It break your heart. I mean, there was just a lot of young men from Bradley County that lost their lives.
That didn't come back.
Defending this country.
You bet.
And defending our friends, our allies.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hadn't fought a war here on American ground since, I guess, Pearl Harbor. And, But, there was a lot of names read off up there. So,
and it's truly sad,
Right.
yet it's a great thing that Americans still honor the folks that fell for us. We've got a caller calling in. Caller, looks like, let's see who this might be. Thanks for calling Old Town Cleveland today. Who's calling?
How you doing, Doug?
I am doing good, Brett. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Mr. Brett Whitehead calling in. What did you do this Memorial Day, Brett?
I just celebrated a birthday just yesterday, Doug.
You celebrated a birthday. You're born in May as well. Then I can't. I must say that I'm honored to celebrate a birthday in May along with you, Brett. How old are you, buddy?
24.
24. Man, I wish I was 24 again. Don't you, John?
oh, yeah.
Celebrated just yesterday, Doug.
Uh-huh. What'd you do?
Watched baseball.
Watched baseball. That's a perfect American celebration right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
How is Bradley High School's baseball team doing this year?
We're done. We're done in the season.
You're done for the season?
Yeah.
Did you do any postseasonal play, or did you just get through the season as usual?
We had the tournament, and we lost in the tournament.
I see. Well, Brett, it's been a long time since I've talked to you. How you been doing?
Good.
Good. Wonderful. Well, is your interest in sports still as hot and heated as it used to be? And how's Bradley going to do in football this year? I think you're going to be real close competitors with Cleveland High School this year. I think both teams are probably equally paired, and it's going to be a good fist fight come that ball game, don't you think?
Yeah, Cleveland's going to open up their season with Macaulay on Thursday, the 22nd.
The 22nd of August?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right before we open up our season on the 21st, that Friday.
Okay. All right.
With Polk County.
Is that right? Well, that's going to be a barn burner from the beginning for Bradley, because Polk County's not a pushover at all. Neither is McCallie. So both teams look like they're going to be tested straight out of the gate, aren't they?
Yeah. We just lost like some of the seniors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
From last year.
Well, Cleveland had the same problem for the past couple of years. They had not very many seniors on the team, and of course they were those are what we call building years. When you're playing primarily sophomores and juniors, but it all works out in the wash. Sooner or later, those kids get some experience and become pretty good ball players, and I think it's going to be the same with Bradley, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your opinion on the new coach at University of Tennessee, Mr. Butch Jones, and what kind of season you think we're going to have with them?
He needs to get his first win. His first win as ball.
Well, yeah, I'm with you there. Have you got any opinion on him as a coach? Do you like what he's doing with the program and his brick by brick program?
I like what he's doing as a coach.
Mm-hmm. You do like what he's doing as a coach?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this schedule, Brett, that I just happen to have with me on the Vols schedule next year for 2014, and I'm telling you what, this is brutal. This is a brutal schedule. I'd say it is probably one of the top 5 toughest schedules in the country. And
talking about Tennessee.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at this thing. Last year, John,
yeah.
I was hoping that we'd have a 6-win season and go to a bowl. That's all I was asking, and it didn't happen. Yeah. And I'm not sure it's going to happen this year. What do you think, Brett?
Yeah.
I mean, we start with Utah State. They're no pushover. Second game is Arkansas State, and I think we got that one. But good Lord, our third game of the season's Oklahoma, at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long season, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
You look at the thing outside the studio.
Thing outside the studio. Give me a hint.
The Starbucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on the
Jonesatron?
That's what I got right here.
Oh, the Jonesatron. Yeah. What about it?
Yeah.
Guess whose picture's on there?
I don't know whose picture might be on there, Brett.
It's mine.
What's your big mug doing on the Jonesatron?
No, my mom emailed it to Mark. Grissom.
Yeah, I know Mark.
To put it on the Jonesatron.
You know what his middle name is, don't you? Mark Grissom.
Yeah.
Wax your lips. Mark, wax your lips, Grissom.
I'm coming into the studio next Tuesday to see Mark.
Well, that's good, man. Hope you have a good session with him.
All right.
Well, thank you for calling, Brett. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Before Brett called, we were talking about Memorial Day, just being Memorial Day week and all that, and the sacrifices that that prompted our Memorial Day celebration. And indeed, it is a celebration. Of those.
We had some friends in Dalton that had heard about a band that they sort of follow around called Raven, and that band performed at the American Legion last night. And so they wanted to, we had about 10 people from Dalton come up and meet us at the Elks Club, and then we went out to the American Legion and listened to this band. This band is so good, they're just right on the verge of going to Nashville.
Really?
They were that good.
Oh, wow.
That good. And
isn't it wonderful, John, to find a band that's in that transitional period and be right there when they hit it big.
But every time I walk into that American Legion, when I open that door, the first thing I always do is I look up at those photographs, and I don't forget those people. And they've got a large color photograph of Sergeant Paul Huff with his Medal of Honor, in his Class A uniform with his blue ribbon and the Medal of Honor around his neck. And
man!
I always when I walk in, I kind of look up at all the photographs.
Give a little silent salute to that group.
Exactly, that's a good way of putting it, Doug. A silent salute. And you walk in and you look at all the past post commanders, and you know just about every one of them. And so anyway, but that made me kind of think. And he was our Alvin York.
You bet.
He was our Alvin York.
You bet. So. And, of course, we've got Paul Huff Parkway in Cleveland in his honor, and I think rightfully so, don't you, John? John, being Memorial Day, we'll stay on that topic for a little while. Do you remember all the holidays like Memorial Day, Labor Day, and 4th of July when Jetfly, WFLI had these huge musical productions that went on all weekend long? They played the top 1,000 songs of the century and all that. Man, I just loved them, didn't you?
I was never old enough to go to one of those concerts. I wanted to so bad, but I was like 10 years old.
But they put on these 1,000 song weekends, and I'd spend all weekend long. Exactly, on a reel-to-reel or a cassette player, and
record them on a reel-to-reel.
That was our favorites list back then. Remember,
that was analog days of the late 1900s.
Oh, you bet, and a lot of fun. We got a caller calling in. Let's see who it is. Thanks for calling Old Town Cleveland. You got a memory you want to share with us?
Pro Daddy calling in live from Calvin's Flea Market.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
From where?
Cammy out here. She's firing up Big Daddy's dogs. We got your junkyard dogs.
Are you doing a live remote down there?
Yes, he is.
I couldn't believe that old truck actually started. You mean you got that old truck started?
Hey, Daddy, I'm live. Matador's still at home on the couch.
Well, what's going on down at Calvin's Flea Market, bro?
We're out here at Calvin's Flea Market. It's out here on Southley Highway, just about across from the Cleveland Speedway. You can't miss us. Look for the mini Whoopmobile with a cardboard cutout of the Matador, and come and check it out, man.
So, hey, what are they selling down there? What do they got?
Anything you want, everything under the sun and in the rain, because it's also indoors.
Well, most of those flea markets, they sell a little moonshine. They got a little moonshine under the. They got a little moonshine in the cardboard box under the table down there.
Let's say we can find you, Stan.
I bet it's possible, John. What do you think? You did say rain or shine, and that is something very important for us flea marketeers. We do have a chance of scattered thunderstorms today, about 83%. So it is a wonderful thing that is an indoor flea market, isn't it? Isn't it, Fro?
Yeah. It's indoor and outdoor. We've got all kinds of folks setting up outside, and hey, you can rent a booth out here outside for $5 and set your stuff out there and outside, or you can come inside and rent a booth in here.
That's a wonderful thing. It's it being spring and all. It's a great time to do a little spring cleaning, get rid of some junk, and make some people happy by setting up a $5 table out there in front of Calvin's Flea Market, isn't it?
Yeah, and they got you some snacks. Come on out, folks. Get your hot dog for lunch. And
what kind of snacks have you got?
Three free door prizes every hour. I'll be here. They're here from 9 to 5 today, folks. Every hour, free door prizes. 3 door prizes every hour. And Whoop will be here till 2 o'clock. So come on out and check me out. Say hi to Pro Daddy.
Hey, Jeff. Jeff, I'm looking at Paul Barris's radar on my telephone, and you're looking good. You're looking clear. I don't see anything except for Gadsden, Alabama, Coleman, Alabama. So Looks like we've got at least 3 or 4 hours for anything pops up.
That's a good thing. So everybody
Copy that.
Yeah, everybody get down to Calvin's Flea Market down there on South Lee Highway, almost across from the racetrack. Everybody knows where that's at. And enjoy some of them door prizes, get you some snacks, and ain't no telling what you're going to find down there at Calvin's Flea Market. What do you think?
They got I see bags of toilet paper. I see furniture. I see bicycles. I mean, everything you can think of that's at a regular outdoor, somebody having a yard sale to all the way up to wholesale new items. So,
well, I'm not saying that Matador's full of something, but get a couple packs of that toilet paper.
Is Matador down there?
Look,
Are they selling any turtle meat?
Somebody's donating a whole bunch of free KFC.
Yeah. I didn't think you ate KFC. You're one of these brainwashed
vegetarian.
Yeah. I'd bring you some, but I didn't think you ate it.
Oh yeah, well I can eat that. Your grilled chicken. Anyway.
Oh, roger that. Okay, my friend.
Triple dip fried ones after y'all clean out the buffet line.
Yeah.
It'll suck on the juice on there.
We'll have to do a live remote over there. How's that sound?
Yeah, all right. Hey, I'm going to let you go, Doug. Get back to the show. We'll call back in here in 30 minutes or so and see what's going on.
Appreciate you calling, Fro. Fro is down at Calvin's Flea Market down on South Lee Highway. If you guys got a chance to get out and enjoy this weather while it is good, kind of mosey on down there. Sounds like a fun place to be today.
Well, I must be at the right place. Here comes P-Dab. He just walked in. I just saw Granny, Big Mike's mom from Jackson Catnapper, another one of our fine sponsors. So I appreciate everybody coming out and listening to Whoop 99.9. Give it back to you, Doug.
All right, buddy. Sounds like a big event going on down there at Calvin's Flea Market. So everybody get down there and enjoy it.
Where is that?
It is a new flea market, John. It is very close to Amvet's down there.
Okay.
And,
right in there.
Yeah, right in that section right down there. We got another caller calling in. Let's see who it is. Thanks for calling Old Town Cleveland, Mr. Doug.
Good morning.
Hey, we were just talking about we were just talking about conversationalists.
Get down here right now. Where are you?
I'm laying in my bed.
Yeah.
Get up, brush your teeth, put your shoes on. Come on.
I just want to say to Ella, if she's still listening, don't worry about cussing Mark Grissom out. He needs a good ass whipping every day.
Yeah.
Bad actor, you are one of those folks that I always enjoy talking with. You've always got something to teach me. You are indeed one of those conversationalists, just like John England sitting in the chair here today. And, man, what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about the Goat Man.
The Goat Man. There's a topic that is interesting in itself. Is it true this guy was actually rich, or is that just a legend?
I believe it's make-believe. I don't believe it's rich. He's very poor, actually.
I believe he
died in the nursing home down in Macon, Georgia. And that big, fat, ugly, bald-headed guy that owns that radio station, he flew down there on his jet and shook his hand and got his autograph and everything.
You got to be kidding me.
No,
how about that?
Most proudest moments, shaking the Goat Man's hand, autograph.
You know what he told me one time? He said, "I'm doing everything that my mama wouldn't let me do." So I'm sure Miss Jency wouldn't let him get 50 feet within the Goat Man. So.
Well, you might not could have gotten there anyway because there was a smell involved.
He was just like me. We spent daylight to dark with the Goat Man every day.
Is that right,
Doug? What were your memories of the Goat Man? Where'd you
hook up with him?
Visualization. This cost Starbucks got me. Go ahead, Doug. Where'd you see him at?
Where Loopy is.
Okay.
A big open field, and there was a spring pond back in the back of it. And the Goat Man always camped where there was running water, so you could water the goats. And
sure.
He'd hand me the rope to the biggest billy goat with horns curled all around and say, take him in there and give him some water.
Did you live over by Deer Park at that time, or did you live somewhere else?
Right here in this house.
Okay.
By Deer Park.
I got you.
Just a short bike ride.
Right.
And there wasn't a bigger honor in the world when you're 10 years old,
right,
watering the Goat Man's goat.
Yeah. I have a memory of him being out on Harrison Pike right out there by Keith Hines' house, where Keith and Georgetown and Harrison Pike split. up there at the top of the hill, just right past the Keith Hines' house.
Yeah.
Right in there. I have a visual memory of the Goat Man parking right there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I remember him on North Lee Highway coming down that way.
Yeah.
I wonder what that guy's range was. How far did he go north? How far did he go south? Do you know that maybe?
No, I don't. I know he lived permanent out of Macon, Georgia, and that was where he went home to die.
Uh-huh.
And that's where he's buried.
How long did he do his thing? How long did he make those pilgrimages? Do you know that?
No, not precisely.
Well, there's a website.
No, I did not.
Yeah, there's a Goat Man website.
And there's a book. You can find the book in the bookstores.
Uh-huh.
And like I say, Jones got the book with the autograph signature of the Goat Man. Jeff McCartney was his name.
When did he die?
It's all cloudy in my mind. I couldn't tell you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing around 1975.
He was like Duck Dynasty cool. He had that big beard going on and the overalls.
You could smell him.
Oh man, yeah. You knew the Goat Man was coming before he got there.
And Doug, Denford Jones took his photograph, and it was almost like a portrait style black and white photograph. And I think that they were selling copies of that at Billy Nipper, and my mom bought several of them. And so I actually have a black and white portrait-like picture of the Goat Man. And I need to get that out sometime and let everybody see it.
Now, for those of you that are too young to remember the Goat Man was kind of like a gypsy that would travel, and I think it was principally
probably mentally ill.
Yeah,
some sort of mental illness.
He had a wagon.
Yeah.
He had a wagon, like a covered wagon.
Yeah,
that
a little Conestoga wagon
that he lived out of, and he traveled north and west on Highway 11 when he was in East Tennessee, and it was pulled by goats.
Yeah.
And it was a sight to see, and he attracted a lot of attention. I venture to say the man probably knew millions of people, and millions of people knew him. It was just amazing to see the Goat Man when he came through. And he never had an agenda. You never knew when he was coming through, and it was always exciting when he did.
Yeah, he slept up under the wagon, and it was real cold. That's how many baby goats he would snuggle up with.
Like a 3-goat night.
Is that spring? That 3-goat night. Only you, Mizell, would cook something like that up. Lord.
Tell you why I did it. Last time I did it, when I hung up the phone, every phone call, the rest of the program, was somebody with a Goat Man story.
There you go. Let's just get him out of the way.
He also would send me across the road to the medical center to get him a cup of coffee. He drink a lot of coffee. And my little legs would run as fast as I could. I thought I was a hero.
Oh, yeah.
Doug, tell me about that spring. Tell me about that little spring
it's
that
back
was
there
up there.
where the ladies' hospital is now. Brenda Snowman, it used to be. And it's right where her business is.
Okay, so they covered it up.
Covered it over. It was
okay.
down, and it had a lot of water in it.
Okay.
As I said, that's why he camped there. And I'd take the lead rope, and I'm talking about a big billy goat that was bigger than me, big horns, kind of scary looking. And I'd take it down there. I took a lot of smaller goats down there too, give them water and stuff. I was his little servant boy. Anything he wanted done during daylight hours. Now when it got dark, my mother would come looking for me, and she'd make me come home, and she'd make me take all my clothes before I came in the house. I had a little odor to me.
Aromatic, was it not?
But, anyway, I really like the Goat Man, and that's why I suggested, I'll guarantee you, your phone's going to start ringing with other Cleveland.
Oh, let's don't talk about the Goat Man. Talk about something else.
Oh, Doug, appreciate you calling, buddy.
Yeah, Al, don't worry about cussing Mark Grissom. I mean, he really needs an ass whipping every day.
Hey, we got a new nickname for him, Wax My Lips. Mark, Wax My Lips Grissom.
Is that something from the funeral?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Wax your lips.
I stay away from that kind of stuff about funeral.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to be listening, and y'all carry on. And
All right, call back a little bit. We still got an hour and a half.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you calling. Doug Guerin calling in, and like I say, Doug's always got something that teaches me.
He had the best daddy. Did you ever meet his dad?
I never met his father.
Lordy. His dad was a character.
Well, then that's where he got it.
Oh, yeah. A talker.
Doug's got a brother, dog man that calls
Fat
in.
Pat.
Yeah, and
you call him the dog man
yeah,
these days?
Yeah, that's what he calls himself on radio.
We always called him Fat Pat.
Well, I tell you what, Pat knows his stuff too. You talk about his history.
I bet Pat's listening too.
He's got it down pat.
All right, Pat.
Let's see who's calling in. We got another caller. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. It's Doug and John. Who's calling today, and what do we want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm going to go down and say probably in 3 minutes. I thought I'd call back in and tell you another story, but I'm going to say hello to that actor. He needs to get out of bed.
Yeah, he does, don't he? Well, Bully, what story you want to tell us today?
Well, I remember the Goat Man also, but that ain't what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Lou Underdown for a second.
Lou Underdown, buddy, there is a name that bring back some great memories. And there again, that was one of those coaches that kind of made me who I am and what I am, and he was a character indeed, buddy.
Yeah, he was. He was actually my coach back in '63.
Mm-hmm.
And David Harris was a Cleveland was an Arnold Junior player then, Arnold Blue Devils. And anyway, David didn't do something Underdown said, and he made him run around the field about 20 times. And I actually made a mistake by going up talking to Coach Underdown. I said, I don't think he's going to make it. And he said, well, why don't you run around with him and help him? And I miss him. He actually come to my mother's funeral, and he was a great guy. But anyway, I don't know why I'm on football kick today for, but anyway, I just want to bring up. I know Doug knows Underdown, and
oh, buddy, yeah.
I think my brother Jim England just about gave Lou Underdown a stroke up there one time. Jim was a great athlete, and he was tall and lanky.
I remember Jim.
He was a great athlete, and he caught a pass, and he was going for a touchdown. And Underdown was his coach, so I guess this was maybe junior high or something. Because Billy Frank Smith was his coach at Bradley,
right?
But he was going for a touchdown, and his shoe fell off. And Jim stopped because he lost his shoe, and Underdown just about had a stroke fit right there. And then Jim stopped to put his shoe back on, and then when he got focused back on the game, he started running the wrong direction. But then he finally got turned around. But I heard that Lou Underdown just about had a stroke right there on the field.
Lou Underdown, I can't ever think about Lou Underdown without thinking of a chaw of tobacco in his cheek.
I had a coach at TMI by the name of Roy Gregory that had been a star football player at the University of Chattanooga, and I believe he went on to become a coach at UTC, Roy Gregory.
Right.
And he was one of my coaches at TMI. He was our Lou Underdown. So I never went to Arnold. So
I remember back in the day when we were playing for Lou Underdown. There was a bunch of us kids that played almost an entire decade together.
Yeah.
We played together in the midget league program. Right. Then we were mentored.
Who was your coach in midget league?
Bill Creech was my coach.
Okay.
And Bill was a great coach, wonderful at teaching you the rudiments of the game.
I bet my coach is listening this morning. My coach was Doyle Palmer.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was on the 49ers.
Yeah.
Practiced up at Arnold.
Jim, Doug from Lou Underdown.
Do what now?
You ever take Jim from him?
Oh yeah, sure did.
Well, he was a rough gym coach too.
Oh yeah, he was, and back then they had a thing going on called the President's Fitness Program. You remember that? And man, that was tough to get through. I mean, you had to do a 600-yard run, and it had to be under a specific time. You had to climb a rope to the top of the gym, which might have been in our gym maybe 30 foot tall.
Could you do a loop Underdown impersonation?
It's been too many years. I used to could, but I can't now.
Everything. Bill Varnell and Steve Hickson, they're always talking about him, and it kind of sounded like he always, every sentence started out with "ah, boys." "Ah, boys." And then he'd call you like Mr. Hickson or Mr. Varnell.
He called me
Mr. Mizell.
No, he called me Michelle.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he called me Michelle. And, of course, that always got under my skin. But that motivated me. He knew if he made me mad, I'd go out and hit somebody. Yeah. Couldn't hit him, so I'd hit somebody else.
I appreciate you guys, and I'll let somebody else call in. I'm enjoying your show this morning, and I just want to say hello to Bad Actor.
Before you leave, Bullet, did you ever get a paddling from Lou Underdown?
No, but I got a scalding out one time.
I'll tell you what, Lou used a tennis shoe as a paddle. And, buddy, he'd light you up. He'd send you halfway across the gym on the first whack.
I tell you, a boy that was, got a lot of paddlings over at Arnold Junior High School. His name was Randy Fox.
Randy Fox? He get a lot of paddling? Did he? He did. I bet he gave Lou Underdown a paddle.
He probably did.
Oh, man. Bud, appreciate you calling.
All right, we'll see.
Thank you, buddy.
Randy lived over by the Y.
Yeah. You know, neighborhoods.
You went to the Y.
Oh, yeah. I went to the Y a lot. Went to them Y dances.
Right.
You know, and, man, that's where I got my savoir faire. I learned how to deal with the ladies at the Y dances.
You know what I figured out really, really young? That all the people that were in the band, they all had real pretty girlfriends.
Yeah.
But they didn't have anybody to dance with because their boyfriend was in the band.
Yeah.
Okay. So I figured that out. So I got to dance with all the really pretty girls.
All the pretty women,
like
sure.
Remember Natalie Ray? I was always dancing with Natalie Ray.
I remember Natalie well, and Natalie's on my Facebook.
Right.
I think she lives out in Washington or Oregon somewhere.
Idaho.
Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah,
Wendy and Dusty. She's always talking about that on that Facebook.
Got a picture of her on a Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
In bell bottoms.
Right.
Holding
Randy Smith.
With Randy Smith holding a cigarette.
That doesn't look like Randy Smith, does it? Randy Smith, he was pretty stocky up in the shoulders and stuff there. I didn't realize Randy had that much deltoid.
I didn't remember him having that much hair at the time.
Me neither. Yeah.
I love those throwback Thursdays. It's amazing to see us when we were young and back in the day. Right. I had this big old huge lock of hair on the top of my head. I
never saw you.
I was one of those typical Tauruses. I had that like lock of hair that looked like should have horns on both sides of it, and it was it's kind of fun to laugh at when you see my older pictures back in the day.
Well, you need to put more on there.
Oh, no. I've got them, but they're not going up. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, we were talking about Memorial Day, the Jet Fly Productions, recording those 1,000 songs and all that history. And years later, I found myself doing a radio show called Happy Tracks. Mm-hmm. And it was just virtually a clone of what they did back then. That show was kind of formatted on those memories of those days, where I'd play old rock and roll songs and give everybody a little bit of history of the artist and of the song, and it became kind of a real pick me up for a lot of our listeners from back in the day. John, you're one of those that just know probably twice as much as I do about history of rock and roll and all the artists. It's always fun to talk to you about that.
My brother Jim graduated from Bradley in 1961 and went off to UT. And he they need a cough switch on this. They need a cough. There's not even a cough button on here. I've never heard of a radio station that didn't have a cough button. But he was working at J.C. Penney's on Gay Street selling men's suits. And the dean of the business school, his name was Gene Upshaw at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
They had a little record shop down on Cumberland Avenue that was like a little beatnik place called Doug's Dugout. Mm-hmm. And the dean of the business school talked my brother into going in half with him on buying that record shop for $1,000, and it was up there by Cole's Drug Store at 17th and Cumberland.
I remember it, sure. Uh-huh.
And so they bought that record shop, and Jim used to say, Dean Upshaw just did that so he could buy his records at cost. And that was 1963, and that thing took off. That was about the time the big bulk of population of the baby boomers.
You bet.
Were just coming to age.
That was when we hit puberty, and the rock and roll just went ballistic at that
Mustangs,
point. Oh yeah.
The Beach Boys and music, and so they bought that record shop for $1,000, and the next thing you knew, it went from the Kingston Trio and driving a Austin Healey and wearing a sport coat with leather patches on your elbow to Jimi Hendrix and
bell bottoms and beads.
Bell bottoms. And so he was right there in the right place at the right time.
Sure enough.
And so a lot of my friends say, well, we didn't see you around Cleveland a whole lot, and growing up, where'd you go? You just kind of dropped out of sight. Well, I was in Knoxville. And I was standing on a wooden box running a cash register in a record shop. And I would ride the Trailways bus to Knoxville, and I'd spend about 2 weeks at a time. Then I'd come back down here for 2 weeks, and then I'd go back. So I was working in that record shop that was called England's Records on Cumberland Avenue in 1964 when I was just a little bitty kid.
That had to be an experience, John. It really did.
And then he opened up the stereo store called England Sound in 1967 on 17th Street.
Yeah.
And had all the high-end stereo component stuff, so it was fun times.
Oh, man.
Saw a lot.
My brother, about that time, was in the service in Guam. And he'd come back.
Oh yeah,
he'd come back with Sansui and all these brands I'd never heard of, but they were top of the line audio equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
And for the first time in my life, I heard true stereo on a reel to reel. And guess what group it was?
I still got one of those. But go ahead.
Guess what group it was? Moody Blues.
Yeah.
Could not hear better studio quality stereo from any other group than Moody Blues. I mean, they had stuff that sounded like it started in one ear, went through your head, and went to the other ear. It was amazing sounds back then. We got a caller. We better answer the phone. See who this might be.
This is the caller show.
You bet. You guys call. Give us a call at 6.
We don't really have a whole lot to talk about.
Give us a call at 614-5553, just like this guy right here. Let's see who it might be. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland, Miss Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Miss Ella. How you doing?
I'll say something, but I ain't saying nothing, bad.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to tell Bullet to shut his mouth on me, and that I'd never have liked him anyway.
Well, now, Bullet didn't say anything derogatory. He just said he wanted to be the first to tell you bye.
Yeah, but the way he said it. Yeah.
I think you might have misconstrued that, Miss Ella. I don't think there was anything mean about that statement at all.
Oh, yes, there was. I'm older than you, Doug,
Sounds like we need to get Miss Ella and Bullet down here in the studio.
On TV Thursday.
You saw who now? What?
Rod Moore.
Ron Moore. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I
Is that big, sweet-talking sissy fella that is usually in here, that big old sissy boy?
Hey, he's lost a lot of his hair now.
Haven't we all?
That's the sweetest talking, man.
Don't go there, Ella.
Well, I haven't seen you lately, so I don't know.
Oh, I still got a head of hair. It's just turning gray on me. I look more like Santa Claus than Doug Mizell anymore.
Well, mine would turn gray too if I quit dying.
All right, girl. Appreciate you calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
That's funny.
Oh man. Back to the music. Oh, we got another call. Let's see who it might be, and let's answer this one.
This is the caller show.
Sure
today.
is. This is Old Town Cleveland 99.9 radio on your radio dial. Who's calling?
Well, my name's Ron Lee, and I remember a Jim England from high school.
Yeah, that's my brother.
If I'm not mistaken, he played end.
He did.
Football team.
He did.
In the same era as Steve Sloan and that bunch, isn't that right?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us a Jim England story. I like to hear these because I was a little bit young. I was about 6 or 7 years old. So.
Well, he was a well-liked guy.
Yeah.
He was. I was always too small to play football, but I loved all of Bradley's football players but anyway, I heard you mention his name, but he was a good football player. He sure was.
Quite the athlete. I watched him as I was growing up, and if there had not been a significant turn of events, I would have been a Bradley Bear myself, just simply because of that era of football. That was a dynasty back then, wasn't it, John?
Yeah.
I mean, they just dominated the high school football scene in Tennessee, and great names: Rex Dockery, Jim England. Steve Sloan
and Davenport.
Richard Davenport.
And Richard Davenport became a federal marshal.
Did not know that.
And he was one. He may have been the first sky marshal.
Is that right?
Or one of the first.
He's so tough they probably just strapped him to a wing.
Yeah, he was. He was pretty tough.
Yeah, he was.
The biggest rivalry, I guess, or however you say that word.
You got it. We know what you're talking about.
I guess was Chattanooga Central and
Purple Pounders. Remember that well, man. They fought. That was a slobber knocker every time them two teams got together, wasn't it?
Well, I seen one time I was up at Bradley watching and they were playing Chattanooga Central, and I think it was Jim England caught a pass.
Yeah.
And one of Central's defensive players tackled him.
Yeah.
And when he was tackling him, he was putting his fist into Jim's stomach. He was really trying to get him down out of the game.
Jim was really strong for that era.
Uh-huh.
He really was.
And that was back in the day when football was really football. Yeah. I mean, there weren't these restrictions protecting the quarterback and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't uncommon at all to come up out of a pile of football players after a tackle with a couple of bite marks on your arm or leg.
I just thought I'd call in. I enjoy I'm a alias, Carl Childers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I'm your neighbor.
Well aware of that, and thank you for calling in. I appreciate it today.
All right, buddy.
So now, who was he just talking about? What was the last thing he said?
Carl Childers.
Who's that?
That's a character on that calls in on Whoop Radio on occasion.
I thought it was a NASCAR driver.
He likes mustard. He likes mustard covered biscuits.
I thought that was a NASCAR driver.
Excuse me. Oh, appreciate you calling, man.
Okay. I see you at the airport every now and then.
You sure do. And I have my daily walks. They're going to auction off Hardwick Field here pretty soon, and I'm kind of anxious to see who gets that.
I guess we'll know who buys that. That's been playing a long time.
John, have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you calling.
Yeah, thank you for calling in.
Uh-huh. Now, that's what we're talking about right there.
Have they ever had Jimmy Clark on this show?
Not to my knowledge.
I need to get Jimmy Clark down here.
He knows some stuff.
Well, he does.
That'd be a conversation to have right there. Another phone call, John. Man, we got it hot today. Let's see who's calling. Thanks for calling Old Town Cleveland. It's Doug and John. Who's calling?
Is this the Doug Mizell that used to be on before they put the Undertaker in his place?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Red?
I'm doing good. How are you, Doug?
I am just fine as it can be, and enjoying being back in the air chair for a little while, Red.
I just called in to tell Miss Ella that I agree with her. And Bullet, he does run his mouth sometimes, and he's a great friend of the Undertaker. So
who's the Undertaker?
That would be Mr. Grissom, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Wax my lips, Grissom. Yeah, wax my lips.
Undertaker.
Or wax your lips.
But Bullet is one of his favorite people, and he tries to do stuff to help Mark.
Do you call in to Mr. Mark's show?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I don't like him.
How many days a week is Grissom on? Is he every morning?
I think it's on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
On Tuesday, Wednesday.
How come you don't like his show?
Friday.
Okay.
Is it because he's a Yankee or?
Well, I don't like Yankees either.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah, don't get a laundry list started. That'd take up the rest of the show if we had Red do that.
they don't need to be picking on Miss Ella.
No, they don't. Miss Ella is certainly a jewel, and she has been a character on Whoop Radio as long as I can remember.
And I just want to say this, Bullet, if you're listening, get on your phone, call Mark, and tell him what I said. You always do.
Red, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you, man. Bye-bye. John, that is Red-Headed Wildcat. Okay. She's another one of those characters that call in Whoop Radio quite often, and always good to hear her. I'm not on the radio very much anymore, and I only do guest spots, and so it's fun. It brings back a lot of memories when I talk to these characters.
Where are the Moors? Are they at?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure it's some award event somewhere because I tell you what, they're a hot number, a hot commodity right now, because of the historical things it's doing, especially the Dirt Track book.
Right.
That has been a real success for them.
And they've made the comment in the past that it's just getting so expensive.
Oh yeah.
That a tire. It's not, it used to be, guys that like to, tinker with cars and go down there and race on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
It's not that way anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
They can't afford it.
Yeah, it's all about the money. It's all about sponsorship now. We got a caller calling in. Let's see who it is, John. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. Mr. Doug, who's calling?
Hi, Doug.
Yeah.
Hi, you know what?
What?
No one's got a smart mouth.
Do what now? I'm sorry?
I know no one besides Mark's got a little smart mouth.
Who's that?
It's that Fro Daddy.
Fro Daddy's got a smart mouth? I can't imagine anything smart about Fro Daddy. No, I didn't mean that. That just come out.
The way he picks on Randy, sometimes I feel like coming down here and yanking him up. I'll be riding around town and he's picking on the Matador. I feel like calling in and say, "You leave him alone, or I'm going to come down here and hang you upside down."
Yeah. Well, that's just kind of Fro Daddy's persona.
You know what? That's a little man. He don't need to be picking on him.
Well,
that's right.
I think Matador probably he keeps his dignity. He keeps he takes a lot, but I think our listeners just think he's adorable. I think he's one of those characters that will be in Cleveland's memory for a generation because Matador is such a distinctive character. I'm sorry?
Me and my husband both love Matador.
Oh, of course. And Randy is one of those characters. You think, where did Randy come from and how did he come up? Randy was a tremendous athlete back in the day. He was a great wrestler.
That's what I hear.
But now Randy has always been Randy. He's always been the character. He's not. This is not an act for him. I mean, he is who he is. He's the same way on the air as he is off the air. That's what I love about Randy.
He's just his plain self.
Well, I appreciate you calling. Thank you for calling in today.
Mr. Big Mouth quietness.
All right, hon. Well, we're gonna take a little break here, play a few commercials, and then get back on the air. I appreciate you calling today.
Find us some Hoyt Axton.
All right, Hoyt Axton. That would be that might be a job to do, but I'll see if I can find it. We got to play. We got to pay some bills first of all. We got to play a commercial or two, and then we'll get back on the air and see what. what other topics we might come up with in the next hour.
Let's see. We hadn't heard from Larry Ledford this morning. Larry Ledford's always got some good stories. And we hadn't heard from Randy Fox, and we probably got a few others out there. You know, you were talking about the YMCA. My favorite story about the YMCA is, remember, they had ping pong.
Yeah.
Ping pong tables.
Oh, yeah.
I love those ping pong tables. And they had a man there named Mr. Simpson, tall, gray-headed man. Remember Mr. Simpson?
I do remember Mr. Simpson.
I think he was a retired school teacher. I believe that had been his career was education, because if you broke a ping pong ball, you went over there to that glass, that desk and had that glass, and he'd make you answer a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I went over there with a broken ping pong ball, and I said, "Mr. Simpson, I need a new." He said, "Okay, England." He says, "What are the 3 forms of government?" And so I'm standing there going, judicial, counting them out on my fingers, legislative, executive. And so, he had to be a school teacher to do that.
You bet.
But,
and you had to be educated to get a ping pong ball.
Right.
I love it. Jack Kidwell was head of YMCA for a long time there, and we just recently lost Jack.
Right.
And but boy, I got a lot of memories of the old YMCA.
Yeah, he molded a lot of us and had a lot of impact on our lives.
You bet he did. Well, John, let's play a commercial or two, and then we'll get back to more discussions. Let's see what we got going on here.
Did you know that Cleveland, Tennessee has the lowest birth rate in the whole 96 counties in the state of Tennessee? And we need to help pick up the pace on the population. And some of these remedies are to pick it up. They have to more or less get off the pig feet and dance for dessert.
See this badge? Of course not. It's radio. It says Trained Comfort Specialist. It means we're expert technicians and as reliable as the trained systems we install, keeping your winters cozy and summers cool. And when you do see this badge, you'll immediately feel more comfortable.
Your Trained Comfort Specialist is Mechanical Systems, 336-5739. High-quality service and installations for over 30 years.
It's hard to stop a Trained Comfort Specialist.
In the nation, we're behind you 100%. Add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance, and we'll replace stolen or destroyed items with brand new versions.
Call Eric Neff, Nationwide Insurance, Brian Norton Agency, downtown Cleveland, 599-1026.
Nationwide is on your side.
Optional feature exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Just stay in the house, check into cash, and grab your mouse.com. Get your money online, check into cash, right on time.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. No time to get away, check into cash. You gotta stay home.com. Hey, that's okay, check into cash. You can do it alone.com. Any old time, do it online. Just stay in the house and grab your mouse. Do a quick click from home. Get your money overnight at the right website. Do a quick click from home. Go to checkintocash.com.
Wheeler Technologies has moved. Visit them at their new location at 490 Grove Avenue Southwest next to Bradley Rentals. Same great folks, same great service with a better location to serve you. Call Wheeler Technologies for voice, data, and security needs at 664-TECH. That's 664-8324. And remember, depend on Wheeler Technologies for the current time and temperature every day at 476-1111. Tennessee Alarm Contractor C1750.
All right, we're back on the air. Just a reminder, you're listening to WOOP 99.9 on your radio dial. We are presently doing the show Old Town Cleveland. My co-host today is John England. We're proud to have him in studio. And, man, have we talked about a plethora of topics. It's been a whole lot of fun. We've got a whole lot of callers calling in, and we've learned a lot today. Just a reminder that as far as weather is going today, it's presently 66 degrees. The high today is going to be 86. We've got a 83% chance of scattered thunderstorms today, and I think that there's no rain in the immediate forecast. So get out and enjoy maybe the new flea market, Calvin's Flea Market, that's going on down South Lee Highway today. And we've got another caller calling in. We might see who's calling, see what that's all about. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. It's Doug. Who's calling?
Hello, Doug and Johnny.
Hey, how's it going? Is this Brenda?
Call me Johnny.
Yeah, it's Brenda.
She called me Johnny. She knows who I am.
Yeah, exactly. Brenda, what's going on with you?
You know who you are.
Is this Brenda Allen?
Yes.
What's going on, girl?
Well, there ain't much going on with me anymore. I just stay at home and mind my P's and Q's. All I get to do anymore is go to the doctor.
Oh, I'm hearing you. I'm kind of identifying with some of that, Brenda. How you doing, though?
Well, I'm doing very well, as well as I can be.
Have we talked about anything that pushed your buttons this morning?
Do what?
Have we talked about anything that pushed your buttons this morning?
Nah.
No.
Brenda, last time I saw you, you were doing the Mexican restaurant thing. Are you still doing that, or?
No, I'm on disability now.
Oh, okay.
I had to quit.
Yeah.
Just a few years ago, and
yeah.
And so I'm just hanging out around the house mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure miss your daddy. I think about him every time I drive down Emmett Avenue up there by Denny's house.
Oh man,
he lived at Bill Allen.
Yeah, that's the old neighborhood right there, buddy.
Yeah,
Brenda's one of those that we used to run around with all the time up in there.
And Brenda, you lived out in Cookdale, didn't you? She lived in Cookdale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I lived in Cookdale, and I lived in. Well, in fact, Mother's back over in. She's back over on Emmett Avenue.
Okay.
Her and Daddy moved it back. They moved into my grandmother's house when she passed away.
Yeah.
So they moved back over there.
You know, it's surprising, Brenda, to think back on all the kids that we run with back in the day, and all those people are still friends of mine. Linda Tinsley, right. Remember Linda? Right. Chuck Cunningham,
right? Chucky,
yeah. And oh my goodness, there's just Shane Lowe,
David Simmons.
David Simmons was over in there. Yeah.
Yeah, David Simmons and Chucky, if you saw one, you saw the other. They were running around over Highland Avenue, Brown Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Butler.
Yeah.
Over there.
All kinds of names, that come to mind when we think of that neighborhood. And that was a special area. It just really was. It was a time and an era where you could play all day outside and play all night outside if you wanted to. Your mother and father never had to worry about where you were, what you were up to, right. Or somebody getting you. It was just a different day and age, wasn't it, back then?
It sure was, and I could start naming and name kids back then. There were just kids on Emmett Avenue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And of course they've all moved off now. They've all grown and moved away, and there's not many kids at all on Emmett Avenue now.
Isn't that something? The kind of
those
the way it does.
They cycle though.
Yeah, they do. They cycle.
They cycle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there was such a wonderful bunch of people that came out of that area. Like I say, and every one of them of good character. And I like to think that
there were a few. Big Money, Denny Griffith, Big Money. There's one up right there.
I'll tell you another one from that neighborhood. Yeah. That was the Dovers. Kathy Dover and Neil Dover come from that neighborhood. And
I could just about hit their house with a rock from my front porch.
Exactly.
Cut through the yards.
Neil and Kathy lived right at the bottom of the hill from
right.
From my parents and.
Well, you didn't live over there in the '60s. I thought you lived out in Cookdale because I remember coming to see you in Cookdale. Right.
Well, I lived over there from the time I was in the 3rd grade.
Well, I didn't know that. You must.
Till I was 13.
Your mama must have not let you out of the yard. She was smart.
I was either in Barry Turpin's yard.
Oh, so you were up there with all of them. Okay.
Or Denny Griffith.
Right. Gary Bryant.
And
and Greg Bryant.
Greg Bryant.
And Chip Bryant.
Yeah, Chip was over in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Chip's mama didn't let him out of the yard either.
Hey, Denny Griffith's riding bicycle now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He is. That just makes me think of something.
We were all, of course,
steal his bicycle.
Students at George R. Stewart School. Right. And, man, that made, and that was walking distance from the neighborhood. There was that little path that went down that went down by Stewart Baptist. And
right, had the big lake in the back.
Oh, yeah.
See, up there at Reverend Littlefield's church, if you drive down 17th, you notice that there's a big stone wall that really doesn't fit in with the church. It looks like it's from a different era.
Right.
That was George R. Stewart's house.
Is that right?
And that was also the Steed farm. A generation before that. But that's where George R. Stewart lived.
I'll be dang.
There was a big white house sitting there, and I do not remember it. It was before my time, but I've seen photographs of it. But I always wondered about that old stone wall.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like the wall that's around the St. Luke's uptown.
Yeah, exactly.
So next time you're on 17th, check that out.
I will make a point of it. Sure will.
That was a big lake back there, and they filled it all in.
Oh, yeah. I remember fishing in that lake.
Yeah.
Bluegill out the yang-yang,
You remember that lake, Brenda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Full of cattails.
Yeah.
And there was right by the Baptist church there was a big old looked like California style flat roofed house with like a patio veranda and we used that for Sunday school classrooms back when I went to Stewart Park Baptist there for many years.
Yeah.
My present wife, Clara Rayburn, went to church there, and
that house was originally built by Vaughn Hamilton, and he was a local real estate developer, well loved. Everybody in town. There's probably lots of people listening that remember Vaughn Hamilton. He was quite a guy.
Yeah,
but that was their home. So Stewart Park Baptist Church was a home,
right?
Before and if you look at it as a home, that was quite a home.
You bet it was.
That was quite a place.
You bet. Yeah. And go ahead, Brenda.
I was going to mention to you, Johnny, I won't mention his first name, but my nephew, whose last name is Goins, works down there for you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
And he is a good boy. He's a hard worker.
I gave him a job when he was 16, and he's still with us.
Yeah, he is a hard worker. He is, and his mama, I told him, he said, she asked him one day.
Is she your sister?
She's my sister-in-law.
Okay.
From my first husband, and we're still best friends.
Okay. Is that a Degler connection?
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy Degler.
Yeah. And she's not well at all. And but she said, she asked him one day, she said, do you not ever want to take a vacation or anything? She said he'd never took a vacation, and he said, no, they'll think I'm lazy.
Isn't that
Yeah,
something?
he's autistic. It's called Asperger's
Mhm.
syndrome,
Mhm.
and he. Now, if you want to talk music with somebody, this is like the movie Rain Man. He
There you go.
He knows everything. And his dad, Roger Goins, was that his name?
Yeah.
Roger. Yeah, he and I were in the same grade, so he was a year behind you.
Uh-huh.
And his dad died young. I believe that pretty young. But anyway, this young man, he knows his music.
Well, that would be called a savant. Those are people that usually have autism, but they are geniuses in various realms of expertise.
Did you know that? Did you know that, Brenda?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were aware of his music knowledge. He loves music.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my son is he plays several instruments, and he has some CDs that he has made.
Yeah.
And his mother's been Michael's mother's been trying to get me to get him a tape, but I told her I said me getting one is about like somebody coming in off the street and asking for one. I said I just beg and beg and beg and beg and you just might as well knock my head against the wall. But I had one, and I loaned it to him down there at the radio station so he'd get some play on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I asked Fro where it was, he said he hadn't seen it in a long time. He said he'd look for it, and that's the last I heard about it. So,
Brenda, we've been talking about just various topics today on air, and we mentioned the Jetfly WFLI promotions and productions. That's what I was just thinking. You got some stories about that?
have I what?
You got any stories about Jetfly and listening to it over?
Did you go to any of those Jetfly concerts?
I sure did.
Let's hear about that.
Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Oh yeah, big time, yeah.
And then when I was 11 years old, I went to see the Beatles in Atlanta.
Oh my gosh, what a memory that was.
Yeah. My mother and Daddy took me and Michael. You remember Michael Davis?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's in Charleston, South Carolina. He owns a music store over there.
Mike, his parents and my parents were best friends.
Oh, okay.
We used to take vacation every year together. Yeah. And they took...
I'm sorry. How could you put up with him? Oh, Lord.
Honey, you talking about fighting? We used to fight, and I used to absolutely wear the tar out.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, goodness.
He would
remember Mike Davis.
Me. Yeah. And he splashed me in the water one time, and I just beat the tar out of him. And,
Brenda, you mentioned Paul Revere and the Raiders. Who else did you see in those Jetfly spectaculars back then?
I don't remember going to any more of the Jetfly spectaculars. Just the Beatles is the only one that really sticks.
Yeah, tell us about that. Now, was that at in a coliseum or a stadium or?
It was in a stadium in Atlanta.
Okay.
Wow.
Who'd you go with?
11 years old.
Who'd you go with?
My parents and Mike's parents.
Oh, okay.
Did you do a little screaming maybe at that event?
Oh Lord, yes, I screamed and I hollered and I carried on.
Brenda, that was a piece of musical history. That's something that not many people, in this day and age can say is I saw the legendary Beatles, live in concert. That's something. Yeah. That's something to say.
Yeah.
I was just thrilled to death, and it was just. But they had them out on the football field, and of course they just looked like ants about to me from where I was sitting, But still, I was just thrilled to death to get to see them.
That's like I saw Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in Tampa Stadium in 1974. And you couldn't even. You were so far away. It was a stadium, Tampa Stadium, and you couldn't see. You couldn't hardly see them. But
my wife Clara, formerly Clara Rayburn, said that back during the day of the jet fly spectaculars and the Beatle events and things of that nature, that so that her parents had a pretty tight leash on her, and they wouldn't let her go to these events. And she said
smart.
She said that she remembers one jet fly spectacular when Question Mark and the Mysterians were on the card, and she wanted to go see them so bad. That was a true one-hit wonder. 96 Tears was about the only thing I remember them ever doing. Yeah. But she said that Kathy Dover and Linda Tinsley went, and
Neva Murphy.
And Neva Murphy, I'm sure, went, and they brought back a piece of Question Mark and the Mysterians shirt that they had gotten backstage and tore the shirt off of him. And Clara says it smelled like high karate. So that's her memory of a jet fly spectacular. She didn't go, but she got a piece of the action, so to speak.
Kathy Dover's probably listening in, and she's sitting there going, Mizell, watch it. Mizell.
Yeah, I have to be careful.
Where are you going with this, Mizell?
Yeah, Kathy knows where all my bodies are buried, so I can't say anything about Kathy too much. Oh, Brenda, appreciate you calling.
Well, I hadn't called in a while, so I thought, well, I'm sitting up and I'm doing fairly well today. I was sick yesterday, so my head's up above water today. I figured I'd call in and talk a minute.
Well, I so much appreciate it, and quite honored that if you haven't called in a while, you picked my show to call in on. That means a lot to me, Brenda.
If you got caller ID on that, I may need to call her about Michael Goins. Have you got that? Does it show what the number is?
No, but we can maybe get Brenda's number off air. Call in after the show, Brenda, and give Johnny a contact number.
I might need some help with Michael Goins from time to time.
Okay.
All right, girl.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Bye-bye. Man, there again, those folks from the old neighborhood that we run with back in the day.
She had the best daddy that there ever was.
Uh-huh. Well, there were a lot of good parents back in the day, that gave you the latitude to grow up, but now they taught you right and wrong. Yeah. You got a whipping every now and then.
Yeah, sometimes I'd get a whipping from somebody else's
mother. It happened, and nobody got sued, right?
That's right. I think Linda Tinsley's mama got after me one time.
Hello. We got another caller calling in. Let's see who it is. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. Who's calling?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, this is Super Dave.
Super Dave, buddy. Good talking to you.
Hey, good talking to you. I was just going to call in and say, man, I ain't heard your voice down there in a while.
It has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I hate to have to say this, but I got to say it. I want to call in on defense of the Fro there. The way he treats Matador, he loves Matador. He takes care of him. He brings him stuff to eat, whatever,
Yeah.
All that's going on, Matador don't take it to heart. You can see how he does. If he took it to heart, he'd blow.
Oh, he would have killed Fro years ago if he took it to heart. It's a tenuous relationship. I think they occasionally get on each other's nerves, but that makes for good radio, doesn't it?
Of course. Sorry, back show late at night, I did him the same way, but I'm in it. It makes good radio, but I want to tell you one thing. The radio is a powerful tool. People will believe, just like Orson Welles, people will believe anything you tell them on that radio.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Same way with TV.
Yeah. And that's kind of a dangerous thing, especially if you listen to the Fro Show a lot.
I hate to both recover, but, people take things to heart on that radio, boy. I tell you, you can joke about something and make a laugh on the radio. It'll make some people just fight and mad. In fact, there's been a couple of people that's come down there and waited out in the parking lot for a couple of people.
Doug, we might have somebody waiting on us.
Who knows?
Time of my life on that radio station.
Super Dave, this is a 100-watt radio station. Now it's got the power of a light bulb, but you'd be surprised at how many people listen to this little station and how much influence that it's got over its listeners. It just amazes me.
Good, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it just as good as anybody does. After being there as long as I was, I'm telling you, I've seen some stuff on there. I can tell people, hey, I've been starving for a week and whatever, and I'm just so hungry and I'm broke and everything. And I will tell you something, before the broadcast is over, there'd be people bringing stuff down to eat. I would never do that, but they would.
It's true.
I can remember Renfro on a tricycle. I really do. I can remember Renfro being on a tricycle out in the middle of the street over there. So. I've known that boy a while.
Oh, there again, Johnny. You know where the where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, you remember Larry Morgan?
Of course, yeah.
He was Morgan's neighbor over there.
Did he do the broadcast this morning?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he do the live broadcast this morning?
Yeah. Yes, he is. He's already called in once, and I'm sure we'll probably hear from him again before the show's out. He's doing a remote down at flea market. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Calvin's Flea Market down on.
I kind of close to him. I was wondering if I was going to have to go out and wake him up this morning.
Well, yeah. Well, go on down there. They're having snacks and they're giving out gifts hourly down there at Calvin's Flea Market. It's going to be a good day. They've got outside vendors and indoor vendors as well. It's a wonderful event going on. So get on down there if you can.
Well, I'm going. I just got back from the grocery store. And I'm taking grocery home, so my wife ought to be ready.
All right, buddy. Well, Super Dave, I appreciate you calling.
Do a couple things down that way today.
All right, buddy. Thank you for calling. Appreciate you calling and sharing with us. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
That's sort of been the caller show this morning.
It has been, and it almost always is. Right. Old Town Cleveland's got such a wonderful listenership, and they've got regular characters that call in, and then just regular listeners that call in. It's a lot of fun, and like I say, I never do this show that I don't learn something. Another caller. How about that, John? We don't have to come up with a topic. Our listeners are going to do that for us. Thanks for calling Old Town Cleveland. This is Doug. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, who's calling?
Bad Actor's calling.
Oh, okay, Doug. I didn't recognize your voice. What's up?
There's so much popping and cracking on there. Somebody's messed with all those instrumentations.
Now, what's your call sign? Bad Actor?
Yeah.
Bad Actor.
Bad Actor.
And I think it's appropriate.
I want to tell a story on Mr. Doug.
Uh-oh, Doug.
We all know Doug that he's the most gentle, sweetest guy that you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was always kind of a pudgy kid. He and his brother, Fat Pat, they were always of course, I was too. I don't mean that in any way, but, he went off over to Middle Tennessee, and he slimmed down, and he started to muscle up a little bit while he was off at college.
Yeah.
And we always had a Sandlot football game over at George R. Stewart on Sunday afternoon.
Always going on, yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, here comes Doug Guerin back from college, and he's about 205 pounds and got some shoulders on him, and he was terrifying on the football field. When he got the ball, you couldn't tackle him.
Yeah.
He was really tough.
Uh-huh.
He was really fast. And I mean, even guys like Victor Hicks, they'd run the other direction. They didn't. Victor Hicks didn't want to tackle Doug Guerin. I'm telling you. Isn't that right, Doug?
Well, I won't say anything about Victor Hicks. I'll just say anybody want to tackle me better be ready to pay the price.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
I like that attitude.
I'll just kind of grab you by the shirt and try to rip your shirt off.
Well, maybe 6 people might be able to do that.
Uh-oh, hello.
That's true. That's 100. What's that, Doug?
Did you ever eat at Sam and Andy's?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I was there. Actually, you've been reading my Facebook, haven't you?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Well, actually, we had to go to Knoxville. Kathy and I had to go to Knoxville. I guess it was weekend before last, and we were out on the west end, out in that new Turkey Creek development. And, out in West Knoxville, there's 1,000 different fine restaurants you can eat at.
Yeah.
But, there's no saying. Somebody said you can't go home, you can never go home.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Sam and Andy's out in Farragut. Do you know that, Doug?
No, I didn't know.
Well, there is.
The one I knew was 17th Street.
Okay, well.
Not 17th, but
I know where you're talking about down there.
Cumberland.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there is a Sam and Andy's out in between Level Road and then just maybe 2 or 3 miles on out from Level Road. And when you walk inside, it's all pure Cumberland Avenue. So when you walk in, you get that vibe, just like you're back in the old Sam and Andy's.
The thing I remember, John, is when you walked up to the counter to make an order.
Yeah.
By God, you better know what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it was all hiss, hiss, hiss. Yeah. Hiss. Oh, steamers. Hiss, hiss, hiss. They had them steamers, didn't they, Doug?
Yeah. I remember you look up on the wall and there'd be Bob Johnson's picture up there.
Right, oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, sure.
A lot of superstars from
UT's
glory days.
Yeah.
Well, they're still there, Doug, and you call me. I've got your number. I don't know if you've still got my phone number, but if you've got the same number that you've always had, I'll call you in a little while. And because Kathy and I were out there, we walked right into Sam and Andy's.
Yeah.
And it's just like going back in time. You actually walk inside. It's the same fixtures and all the wall hangings.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Grab a pencil. I'll give you my cell phone number right now.
I think I've got it, Doug, but go ahead. What is it?
331.
Okay.
1285.
Okay.
Any young and tender girls out there that want to use that number?
I knew that was coming.
They may go right ahead.
He likes them young.
I'm going to charge you for a commercial there, Doug.
Charge me and we'll see if Jones can collect it.
All right, buddy. Good. Thank you for calling. Appreciate you. Oh, man.
There's water in here. You want
one? With that in mind, well, we got another phone call. Let's see who it might be before we get to talking on any other subject. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. Mr. Doug, who's calling?
Yeah, this is calling in. This is the Tasso gang.
Tasso gang, all right.
The Stewart Park gang.
Oh yeah, how's everything out that way?
Hicks said he could take anybody on down there.
Victor Hicks said he could take anybody on. Now I don't know. I remember Victor back in the day. He was a pretty mean little dude.
He's standing right here in front of me.
Oh, is he?
All you had to do is sidestep him. All you had to do is sidestep him or step over the top of him. That's what I used to do.
Right now he's kind of mad. You hear? You
come on down here.
How big a boy are you?
There's a rough crew in there today.
Uh-oh. Sounds like Jackie Fargo.
Oh,
Doug and put them two together. They ain't nobody whoop them two boys.
Oh no, that was a force to be reckoned with, wasn't it?
This?
Them boys were
talking about Bobby Perry. They were kind of like the Bobbsey twins.
Johnny, what about poor old Danny Griffin throwing that bicycle in the pond down there?
Hey, Vic. You know what Brenda Allen just told me?
What?
Denny Griffith was back on a bicycle, riding a bicycle around town, and I was sitting there going, now's my chance. I get to do it again.
The YMCA.
What's that?
He's working out at the YMCA. He's a personal trainer after 1 month.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, tell us about Clarence Leonard driving his car down in that hole, down in that vent at the YMCA. Were you up there that night?
I was there.
Tell us about it, Victor.
Everybody was there.
I know.
Poor old Clarence, he had him a little hot number. So he said, let's go outside and sit in the car for a little while. And they'd pulled it up on that Drake right over by the weight room. And when he pulled up on it, that thing was 10 foot deep.
Yeah, it was.
Heck yeah, it was deep.
When we went outside, we heard it. All we could see was the tail lights.
I was there.
Clarence, you all right? He said, yeah, I've had about 24 beers.
Are you open on Saturdays down there?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm here right now.
Okay.
I live here.
Everybody is listening. You know, you got all these, you need to buy local. And you got all these, AutoZone. What else you got?
Napa, O'Reilly's.
Zone.
You know, those are all corporate-owned stores.
Yep.
And if you go down and you buy something from Victor, you get a story. Isn't that right, Victor?
A story comes with every part, don't it, Vic?
That's right. You get a story.
It's sort of like a retirement center.
Yeah.
Come down here and stay all day.
Sometimes you tell a story that you don't want to hear, like Sonny Crawford. I was telling about Sonny Crawford had some car parts buried in his backyard. You remember that?
Well, Sonny's not been. He's not been in here in about a month.
Maybe that's what it was.
All the Cleveland utility boys are retired. This is where they hang out now.
Oh, okay. Well, buddy, we're glad you called in.
Hey, man, a good crew right there.
Okay, over and out.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Victor. Appreciate talking to you.
Hey, I was going to ask him if he ever tried to tackle Doug Guerin, because I'll tell you what, I couldn't get a hold of him. He was like a bowling ball.
Is that right?
Oh, he's fast.
Oh, man.
He was about 220, and he could run like lightning.
Where did he go to school? Did he go to school at Middle Tennessee?
Well, he didn't. I don't think he actually played football.
Yeah.
When he came back from college, he had matured and dropped all that weight and kind of got muscled up. But on the, at the George R. Stewart football field.
Oh, yeah. He was a man.
You couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
He's scary.
Yeah. We had a caller calling in just a second ago. Looks like they hung up. Call again, caller, and I'll pick up and put you on the air. Without a doubt, we grew up with some of the best characters in the world. Jerry's Record Shop comes to mind. Right. I know that it made an impact on you. It did on me. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but let's catch this phone call. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. It's Doug.
Yeah, Doug, is Jim still up in Gatlinburg?
He is. He sure is, Jim.
I heard a rumor he might open a restaurant in Sarasota, Florida. Is that?
Well, he was. That was kind of the plan, but I think he's kind of decided he's going to retire from the restaurant business in Gatlinburg. He owns the Best Italian restaurant,
right, with
two locations in Gatlinburg,
right,
and also Howard Steakhouse. And he just recently sold the Bear Creek Grill, which was out on the East Parkway going out towards the golf course.
Okay.
He just sold that one, but so he's kind of winding down, and
okay.
And
I live down in Sarasota, and
okay.
I heard a rumor he might be coming down here.
Right. I could tell a pretty good family story
Go ahead.
about that. Well, I got a call from my brother. This was back in the mid '80s, and it was before Hooters were around here. And Jim had just sold his restaurants in Gatlinburg, and he called me up and he says, Johnny, he says, I'm sitting down here in Longboat Key. He says, I'm sitting with these guys that own Hooters. He said, you ever heard of Hooters? I said, well, sure I have, Jim. And he said, well, they've offered me the whole state of Tennessee. And Jim says, well, we know how to do chicken, right? And I said, yeah. And he says, and we know how to do beer. And I said, right. And he says, well, you want to do it? And I said, well, sure. And I said, I'll probably get my clothes thrown in the yard. It cost me a divorce, but let's go for it. So they actually offered him all the Hooters for the state of Tennessee, the whole state franchise. And the next thing he knows, he gets a call from the man that opened Howard Steakhouse in Gatlinburg back in the 1940s, and called Jim and wanted to sell Jim Howard's, and that was probably about 1985, 86. And so Jim went to Gatlinburg, but that was one of those could-have-beens.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's one of those could-have-beens.
Story.
What's your name?
Mike.
Okay, Mike.
Dorst, D-O-R-S-T.
Yeah.
My wife was Carol Lippard.
Yeah.
She went to school with Jim.
Right.
She graduated from Bradley in '61.
Okay. Right. I think yeah.
She only remembers more at Arnold than she does at Bradley.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in.
Okay, you're welcome.
Mike, thank you for calling. Thank you for listening, buddy.
Okay, say hello to Jim for us.
We will.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Another good call. Another good memory of your brother Jim.
Right. I just got a text message from a friend of mine that it shows his feed on his sofa. He's listening to us here.
All right. We got another call, John. Let's see who it is. Thank you for calling. This is Doug.
Hey, what's the music? Does that ring a bell? Does it sound like Sid calling in or what?
Yeah, it does. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, that's Sid out here playing live at Calvin's Flea Market.
Is that Sid Vicious?
Hell, I can't get away from Sid. Sid, be quiet. Okay.
I tell you what, Fro. You do a trivia question down there. Is this Fro?
Hey, now we even have live music at Calvin's Flea Market with Sid Vicious.
Oh, buddy.
I'll tell you what, we'll give them a chicken dinner if they can tell us where that song was written. Not who wrote it, but what town.
Rocky Top.
What town it was written in.
I would have to guess and say Maynardville.
Close.
All right.
Close.
So that goes out to anybody down there at the flea market if they can answer that question. What city did the
winter chicken dinner?
Yeah, winter chicken dinner. Yeah. What city was the song Rocky Top written in?
Yeah.
And what's going on down there at Calvin's Flea Market on South Lee Highway, buddy?
Janet, here's the boss. Hello.
Who's that now?
She don't want to talk on the radio, though. I got her, Calvin. Hey, listen, we've got Crazy Art out here. He's out in the front. I believe he's selling marijuana out of his truck. No, he's got flowers and plants and tomato plants. Well. Hey, everybody that shows up down here, just ask for Crazy Art. Everybody gets a free plant that shows up today. We've got T-Dad just left. We've had him Bullet sitting over here. Linda, TDL, Terry. I see everybody. Gino, they're still drawing, until 5 o'clock, 3 times an hour. They're giving away free door prizes from all the different booths down here. Crazy Art's giving away a flower for every person that shows up and comes see. You can't miss him. He's set up right out front on the road there, right out here on South Lee Highway across from the Cleveland Speedway just about. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Food, Big Daddy's dogs. Man, what else is happening?
What the big question, Fro, is what's not happening down there? It sounds like everything going on.
Well, and of course, Sid's talking to me and playing the guitar while I'm on talking to you. It's kind of like the Matador with me.
Well, you ought to be used to that.
I'm used to not listening out of my right ear, so I can talk and hear the people that call in.
Have you got a big crowd down there, buddy?
Everybody's hanging out inside because the air conditioner is inside, and Sammy over there, she's got somebody else selling the Big Daddy dogs outside.
Okay.
I'm looking in the back room, man. There's all kinds of people back in here looking at what's going on, man. How's it going? How you doing? All right, dude. We're live on Whoop Radio 99.9. Calvin's Flea Market until 5 o'clock today, y'all. Whoop Radio will be out here. I'll be here until 2 o'clock playing a little music and talking to you guys.
Well, Fro, I think I'm going to sashay down there after we go off air today. Sounds like you're having too much fun and you need some company.
Hey, you got that right. I'll be here till 2 o'clock, but they'll be here till 5 o'clock today. 5 o'clock today, Calvin's Flea Market grand opening. Thanks for listening to Whoop Radio. And Sid, play us out. Radio.
Fro, you're going to be down at Pokey's tonight, aren't you? What time does that show start?
Hell, I'm so busy I forgot to plug this out. I haven't slept in 3 days. Don't forget, tonight, convertibles at Pokey's. There's Lamar. Hello! You got him his third hot dog. Come on out to Pokey's tonight, convertible, 9:30 tonight at Pokey's, right there in Cleveland, Tennessee, across from the Tractor Supply Shop. Can't miss it at the top of Sahara Drive.
There you go, buddy.
I bet Johnny England will be out there and bring me my winter chicken dinner. Where's Big Mac Daddy? If nothing else, every Wooster listener's there anyway, Doug.
Yeah, sounds to me like you got a crowd down there. I'll be down there to join you right after we go off there at 12 o'clock. Sounds like you're having too much fun and you need some company.
Yeah, it's like Commander Cody said, I ain't never had too much fun.
All right, thank you for calling, Fro. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. And come out and see Crazy Art and tell him Fro Daddy sent you, and Crazy Art will give you a free plant.
Sounds like a plan, my man.
Calvin's Flea Market, open for business.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. Thank you for calling, Fro. Fro Daddy is down there at Calvin's Flea Market. That is the new flea market, indoor and outdoor flea market down South Lee Highway, adjacent to AMVETS, in and around that area, across from the old Cleveland Speedway. Sounds like a lot of fun going on down there, and be something to do on such a pretty Saturday afternoon. We got another caller calling in. Let's see who it might be. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. This is Doug and John. Who's calling? What you want to talk about?
This is Bob Cash.
Mr. Bob Cash, how you doing, buddy?
Bob.
I'm enjoying the show and my buddy John England down there.
Buddy, how are you? I look up when I'm at the red light, I look to see if your car's over there.
Yes, sir. Listen, the name of that place you're looking for right there, it's Lake City.
Lake City.
Uh-huh.
Nope. Nope, you didn't get it.
Lake City.
No.
Okay. Excuse me.
No. I'm going to try one more time.
A little earlier about the Goat Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What I was wondering, did Red ever run around with the Goat Man?
Red run around with the Goat Man? Now, don't get that rumor started.
I just wondered if Red ever run around with the Goat Man.
You know, that's an old journalistic trick. You know, if you didn't want to get sued for if you didn't want to get sued for a misstatement, you just made it into a question and they couldn't sue you. So that's just what you did. That's how they do it, you know.
Look here, fellas, I'm going to hang up and enjoy the rest.
Bob, where have you been? Where have you been, Bob? He hung up.
Yeah, he hung up on you. He wasn't paying no attention, did he? Oh.
His mama worked for us for 22 years.
Is that right?
She sure did.
Another call. Let's see who it is. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. Miss Doug, who's calling?
Hey, WJ.
Hey, buddy. What's going on with you today?
Hello, WJ.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Was it Knoxville?
Yeah.
I kind of figured that.
No, WJ.
What?
No, it's not Knoxville.
Okay. Hey, old buddy of ours asked me the other day whatever happened to you.
Yeah? Who was that now?
Remember the time we went deer hunting up in the mountains at my uncle's?
Right.
And old Lonzo?
Right.
One that had the little thing up on the side of the hill up there?
Right.
He asked me what happened to you. And
I got to tell. We got time to tell that story.
Go ahead.
Tell that story. I went hunting with WJ up in Hot Springs, North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's Del Rio, Tennessee. That's the real Thunder Road. That's
the real deal.
That's real. That's the moonshine country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they raise marijuana and make moonshine and sell it at the flea market.
Copperhead Road for real.
Yeah, and they'll stand there and they'll say, "You see that new roof on the church? That's moonshine money right there." Isn't that right, WJ?
That's right.
We went up there and went deer hunting. This has been about 30 years ago, and I think it was 24 degrees.
No, it was 4 degrees.
4 degrees. That's what. Yeah, and my feet were hanging out of the tent camper. And so I didn't get a whole lot of sleep that night. So once we got out in the field, I sat down and I fell asleep. I had this big orange suit on. You know, I looked like I worked at Bradley County Ambulance Service. Yeah. I had a big orange suit on. And I fell asleep up against a tree. And eventually I just got real comfortable. I just got all stretched out. I was laying on the ground and in the leaves. It was real comfortable. I had my arms flailed out and my arms flailed out, and I was laying there asleep, and some other hunters from another party, they started yelling and screaming. They'd shot a deer, and they thought they had shot me. You remember that, WJ? They came running over there.
Bury the body! Bury the body!
They came running over there screaming and crying. They thought they had shot me because I was laying like I'd been shot dead, you know. But I was just sleeping.
That was a trip, wasn't it? But
yeah, it was.
Well, I'll let y'all go, but
so you want to take another guess? Let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint. Okay, that husband and wife, I can't pronounce their names. Felix and somebody. It's a French name, but they were on a little vacation, and they were staying in a hotel, and they took a hike up through the mountains, and they were on a trail, and they came along a trail, and they found a benchmark, and you know what a benchmark is. It shows the elevation in the north, and it said Rocky Top, and that's when they got back to their hotel room. They wrote the song Rocky Top. Where do you think that? You gonna take a guess there, mountain climber?
I couldn't remember it all, Blue Streak.
All right, I'll tell you what.
All right, they know each other. They're down to calling each other names now.
That's our Jeep call signs. And old Doug here, he used to go Jeeping with us a little bit.
You bet I did. I remember that baby, that
Jeeper.
That baby blue
right, Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser that you had.
That's what mountain climber there's talking about.
we was up there at Silico riding one day, and Kathy was with him, and it got hot, and she was wearing blue jeans. He just went over and took his knife and cut the legs out of her pants.
And let's leave it at that.
I'm sure Victor and all the boys down to Auto Parts are. Yeah.
Don't forget that stuff, John.
All right, WJ. I know where you live. I'll bring you chicken dinner. How's that sound?
All right, see you.
Okay, see you.
Thank you, WJ. Appreciate you calling in. Man, he's
a good old guy.
This 2 hours has just flown by, hasn't it?
If we had sprinkled a little good music in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Had some guests come by.
We'll and what we're going to do is next guest spot that I do for Ron and Deb, we might improve on this show even more so. What do you think?
Right.
Another phone call. Let's see who it is, John. Thank you for calling John and Doug on Old Town Cleveland today. Who's calling? What you want to talk about?
This is Debbie, and it was recorded in Gatlinburg.
All right, winner, chicken dinner.
It certainly was, and I wonder how in the world that song became the University of Tennessee's anthem.
I was around, I was around up there
when that was going on, weren't you?
Yeah, when it started to get a little traction. And
Osborne Brothers.
Yeah,
they're the ones that made it famous.
That's probably what did it.
Is that right? You think so?
It was the Osmond brothers. But there's a good article on the net about it.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to look that up. I'll have to Google it because I'm really curious as to how that song got so entrenched in Tennessee tradition. Yeah. It's amazing to me, and I'll tell you what, it's one of the most renowned, recognized songs in collegiate football to this very day.
Definitely.
I'm sure they really like it down in Alabama.
Everybody recognizes that no matter where you are.
Well, Debbie, it sounds to me like you got chicken dinner coming, and sounds like you're an avid Tennessee fan. Give me your impression on what you think about the new coach, Butch Jones, and what kind of season you think we're going to have this year.
Oh, I think we're going to have a good season. It may be a little bit tough to start out, but I think it's going to be a great season. They are building a good team, and I think he's going to do well.
I think that's a linchpin word. You mentioned building, and of course his motto is brick by brick. I think he's had 2 tremendous recruiting years, and we're playing sophomores and juniors and freshmen, and we're being competitive. We might not be winning them all, but we're being competitive. Deb, I think within the next 2-3 years, we're going to be back on top.
I agree.
We're going to be toe-to-toe with Bama and all the rest of them.
Yep, I think he's going to pull us up by the bootstrings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he is truly a great motivational coach. I was up there this year at the Orange-White game.
Did you walk out on the field?
Buddy, I did.
Did you come up to their elbow?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
big.
Oh, they are huge.
They're real big.
And I'll tell you what, walking out, and for any fan there is of Neyland Stadium and UT, go to Orange-White game, go to Fan Day, walk out there on that field and look up at what those kids look up at every Saturday when they have a home game. It will raise the hair on your arms, and know that every seat is filled, every mouth is yelling. Everybody's singing Rocky Top. Man, there's no better venue in collegiate football anywhere in the country. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Well, Deb,
it's like you're right there with them.
You bet. Deb, I appreciate you calling. Thank you for listening today.
Not a problem. You guys, I love it. Love listening to you. Listen to you every Saturday.
Appreciate it very much.
Way to go.
All right. Thank you now.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, man. Yeah.
We used to keep up with Jones just a little bit when he was at Cincinnati, and that was because there's Ed Jacobs. He's a local insurance agent, and he had been a quarterback at Cincinnati. And so when we were all like sitting around the Elks on a Saturday afternoon if Cincinnati was playing, we caught a little bit, and we saw the intensity of Cincinnati before we had any idea Butch Jones would ever be in Tennessee.
You're right.
And there used to be a term called linebacker eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He's got them.
Yeah, intensity.
Yeah, that's right. He's got them.
You bet.
And he's got that instinct, and I like that. I like that. I like that kind of person.
There was on Facebook a few weeks ago. There was a picture of Jones and Doug Dickey and Phil Fulmer,
I saw that.
and I labeled it the Holy Trinity of Tennessee.
That was good. That was good.
And it truly was. If you think about it, Jones being the young blood, Fulmer with his tradition, and of course Doug Dickey. Doug Dickey is one of those though that I never quite forgave. He was one of those guys that just scampered off from UT, and I think before a bowl game even, and so I've got issues with Doug Dickey. Don't ever forget, I'm one of those bleeding orange UT fans that just can't forget some of those things.
Right.
Here is the last call, Johnny, we're going to do today, and we're going to take this call, and then we're going to go and put this thing back on autopilot. Let's see who's calling. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland. Who's calling? Hello? Caller, are you there? I believe they hung up, John. Caller, call right back, and we'll take your phone call. We're right up against a break, and we're going to be trying to go off air here. It's awful hard to end this show with the callership that we've got. They'll keep calling until 2 or 3 o'clock if we let them. So we have to kind of draw the line. But caller, if you'll call right back, there they are. So we'll take this call, and then we'll go off air. Thank you for calling Old Town Cleveland, Miss Doug.
Doug, I just wanted to ask you, can you tell me where Bob Cash lives?
Well, if I knew, I can't tell. Johnny knows, exactly, he says.
I'm going to get him good for what he said.
What he said?
That was that question about if you knew the Goat Man. Is that correct?
I'm going to make him think Goat Man.
And I believe he meant knew the Goat Man in a biblical sense, Red. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you've got an extragram with him. I'm afraid
he's an inhabitant of the VFW and the American Legion. I think he's a.
So you could ambush him in the parking lot.
Yeah, he's a fixture there.
So. I've been known to burn people's houses.
Now, you shouldn't have said that on the radio, Red, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm just telling Bob you better watch out.
Well, Red, this is a great phone call to end on, and I appreciate you calling back.
Okay,
and
bye-bye.
All right. Good talking to you. All right.
Now, where is that big sissy guy that's usually in here on this show? Where are they gone to this weekend?
I don't know.
Okay.
They just told me they were going to be out of town and asked me to be the
probably at a dirt track premiere somewhere.
Don't doubt it, or an awards,
they're having a good time,
or convention somewhere. Who knows? But those folks are real globe trotters nowadays because of all the accolades that they've getting for all the good work that they've done, and Deb and Ron truly do. Great things. Well, we're going to end the show. It's been a blast. Love to do this show whenever Ron and Deb are out of town, and it's been a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody calling in. Appreciate Mr. John Engel being my co-host here today, and we're going to do this again very soon, John.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it on north of here, shopping mall. Ooh, where'd the old town go? Did my hometown get old, or just me? Did all my friends get old, or just me? Are they all gonna have to be told, or just me?
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Just stay in the house, check into cash, and grab your mouse.com. Get your money online, check into cash, right on time.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. No time to get away, check into cash. You gotta stay home.com. Hey, that's okay, check into cash. You can do it alone.com. Any old time, do it online. Just stay in the house and grab your mouse. Do a quick click from home. Get your money overnight at the right website. Do a quick click from home. Go to checkintocash.com.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Just stay in the house, check into cash, and grab your mouse.com. Get your money online, check into cash, right on time.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. No time to get away, check into cash. You gotta stay home.com. Hey, that's okay, check into cash.